on the floor and start to dance. Give me more, this is your chance. Get on the floor and feel the fire. Take me higher. Get on the floor and start to dance. Give me more, this is your chance. Get on the floor and feel the fire. Take me higher. What I need is somebody who's strong for me. Get on the floor and start to dance. Give me more, this is your chance. Get on the floor and feel the fire. Take me higher. Get on the floor and start to dance. Give me more, this is your chance. Get on the floor and feel the fire. Take me higher. What I need is somebody.
Hey everybody, it's Rich Soderquist from Real Swede. Today is a Senko fishing video. For a while I've been wanting to do a Wacky Rig Senko fishing video, and I thought I'd bring that to you while we're in the middle of the winter blues here in Michigan. Everybody wants to get out, and I thought I'd show you one of my new tournament jerseys. This one happens to be an FLW tournament jersey that I'll be wearing this year during the FLW. And I thought it was kind of cool because it's got some of the new logos, some of the new sponsors on it. At any rate, that's one of the things that we're doing, is getting ready for preparation for the upcoming spring season. A lot going on at this time of year. A lot of major tournaments being fished. This upcoming weekend actually is the Bassmaster Classic down in Greenville, South Carolina, Lake Hartwell. So you get the time frame. It's late February, and I was doing some video review of some of the fine footage we got last year, and I wanted to bring that to you. And one of the things I wanted to talk about is just basically how Real Swede tech tips work. We go out and we go into the real world. We show you what's going on here in the classroom, and then we try to take that out into the real world and give you guys a look at how it's actually done under real world conditions. We did a lot of talking to the folks and asking them, hey, what do you want to see in our videos? And basically everybody's saying, hey, give us real information that we can use. Also give us real information we can share with the youth. So you'll see a lot of emphasis in my videos on taking a youth out. There's usually somebody with me, a younger person with me. You'll also see a lot of emphasis on realswede.com and other areas out there on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook pages. You can look out there and see where I'm going to appear. I'm going to be at a couple different Walmarts here in Michigan, one in Plainwell and one in South Haven, Michigan, later on in the year for some hashtag real fun fishing events with youth. One of the big things we're trying to promote right now is just youth and how to fish, you know. So without further ado, we'll kind of get into it and kind of how I lay out a lot of tackle organization. So we'll present to you some ideas about how to fish the Senko, and then we'll take you out into the real world and show you what we've got out there. One of the things I start out with all my tackle organization, I'm big on visual controls. Tubes, Senkos, hooks. When I get in the boat, whether I'm a boater or whether I'm at the back of the boat being a co-angler, I want to get out there and I want to be able to grab what I need. You'll notice these are all Senkos. They're organized. I use a lot of different types of Senkos. I use Schubert's baits. Of course, I use Gary Yamamoto stuff. I really like it. I have my own hand boards that I do and offer on realswede.com. I also have a lot of smaller baits that we get into sometimes on Lake St. Clair if we need to have a finesse type presentation on a drop shot, that type of thing. But everything I have for a tournament day is pretty much in this bag. If I wanted to go to something else, say like a drop shot bag, it would be in another bag like this. I would instantly know though what's in here, and what I mean by that is if I want to get in the side pocket and pull out what I need, it says very clearly swivels and hardware. I know without nothing but a glance that I have my O-rings in here for my Senkos, which I'm going to demonstrate here in a minute. I've got beads, I've got Carolina keepers, I've got some weights in here, swivels, different things I might need to tie anything, excuse me, anything from a Carolina rig to drop shot, that type of thing. I also know instantly by looking in here, hey, I've got bass hooks, and we'll leave this one open and I'll talk a little bit about the different types of bass hooks that go along with the Senkos. And I also want to do a little bit of a product review that you're going to see in the video. And basically, I'm really into Abu Garcia stuff. I like a lot of different rods and reels, but I'm pretty set in my ways when it comes to Abu Garcia. I like them. This happens to be the Aura S30. It's a very nice rod and reel combo in the Veracity. You'll see me testing this and doing a product review in the video itself. And I've actually used this in tournament competition, and I like it. Usually I'm fishing it on braid, with braid, when I'm fishing on a Senko. You can see it happens to have a Gamakatsu hook and a very nice green with red and black flake Senko. You're going to see a large dogfish caught on this in the video, and this is actually the hook that was in that. And it's bent, and it's also the color that he hit, and so that's kind of a cool part of the video I want you guys to be looking for. But let's talk about a little bit how we can rig these. They can be rigged in a variety of ways, and I'm partial to a lot of different colors, but I'm partial to pumpkins and greens, usually with a tail, something along these lines. I like a lot of purples. I like a lot of reds. It really doesn't matter. Senko's action is really what triggers the fish. I mean, once in a while in a day you'll get into where a color matters, but pretty much if it's green or pumpkin, you're going to do good on it. Now another thing I like to do, and you'll actually see this in the video also, is I've started coming up with some pretty cool ways to keep these hooks rigged. So you'll see different styles where you've got a little clip that holds your rig. You'll see different types of circle hooks, and you'll also see a lot of hooks nowadays that are specifically designed for the Senko. So one of the ways you can do it is just to take your hook, run it into the Senko, and basically you're wacky rigging. And what happens is this just flutters down in the face of the bass and they can't take it. They just can't stand it and they have to eat it. So you'll see this a lot, especially when you're doing real shallow water fishing, which is what this video is about. Everything was shot in like 12 foot or less. And you'll see a lot of fish that were taken right in a foot of water or less. And one of the things I want to emphasize is that cruising bass can be caught, especially with a nice light presentation. If you take your rod and you drop it in there and lift it up just a little bit before it hits the water, make that nice smooth presentation into the water, the bass will eat it. And they just can't stand the action of it. And the other thing you can do is you can do some traditional, regular old Texas rigging. And what that means is going in just a little bit, bringing it back out, coming down with something like this hook here, bring it in, skin hooking it out the back side so that you've got something along those lines. Now this is a smaller hook, and actually you'd want to use a little bit bigger hook, but you're getting the idea. Texas rigging, again, let's see if we can't find a little bit bigger bait that would make a little bit more sense for you. A little bit bigger hook, I mean. One of the keys to this is getting the bait straight. Now the first time I ever fished a Senko, about probably 15 years ago plus maybe now, was on Lake St. Clair. I had never saw a Senko before in my life, and I was down, I had one fish and an hour to go in a tournament. And the co-angler had a pumpkin Senko, and I knew where there was some largemouth on Lake St. Clair, and we went in and went on a tear, and I ended up having a 5-fish limit using that rig right there, weightless, and it just goes back down in front of their face and just wiggles. Now you can add a twist lock to it, sinker, or you could add a traditional sinker, whatever you wanted to do. But there's a lot of different ways to rig these. Now one of the ways that I also rig it is using just a traditional, regular old worm hook. I'll do the same thing with the Texas rig. Now these happen to be red, and they seem to garner a little bit more of a strike. I know a lot of people are using some red hooks. And so that's the two ways that we're going to demonstrate for this. But during the video, you're going to see a lot of different types of circle hooks, similar to this. And you're also going to see basically the straight shank Gamakatsu. Now with the straight shank, all we're doing is just dropping it in like that and hooking it on. The other thing that you're looking at here as I'm sitting here talking, usually these are okay as far as putting an O-ring on goes. You know, these are fresh Senkos. These happen to be really well lubricated, and you wouldn't have any trouble whatsoever putting an O-ring on there. And the reason we put the O-ring on there is because these things are so expensive, and it just gives it a little bit more bang for the buck. It keeps your bait on there sometimes better. You put the O-ring through there and just put your hook right through where you normally would. Now, one of the things I will do oftentimes, especially if I'm using, and I use this is kind of a tech tip, I use metal rings in addition to my O-rings. I also use shiny metal rings in addition to my O-rings in case, I should say in replacement of the O-ring, just to give it a little bit more flash. Or if I want to go subtle, you can get these dark bronze type round metal. And what I do when I do these is I will sometimes add just a little bit of the bang garlic, or I will use a little bit of the gulp, something to lubricate it. Sometimes I'll just use a little Mega Strike. You'll see that in the video. And that anything, even Kevin Van Dam stuff, the fish sticks, I'll use that occasionally. Anything that will lubricate this and just help it to slide on. Then I will go just underneath the skin and kind of skin hook it. And I find that this metal ring will last quite a bit longer than the plastic rings. So this is basically what we're going to take out into the field today. There's a lot of really, really good footage. I'd encourage you to stay through the whole video. Take a watch and see what's out there. See what we're brought to you. There's several really nice bass caught. There's a really nice location. Go ahead and do me a favor. Right now, on YouTube, it's a big push to get subscribers so you can continue to get ads on your YouTube channel. So we're looking to grow the channel. Smash the button for like, thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. If there's anything I can help you with, don't forget to send me an email. Remember, everything's available at realswede.com. Look forward to seeing you out there in the water. Thank you. Okay, hey everybody, it's Rich Soderquist from Real Swede. Just got a real nice Senko fish. Saw him swimming in the shallows, pitched it to him. A couple little twitches, he ate it. We're trying out a brand new Abu Garcia next generation, really nice Veritas rod. Really nice Aura reel. Just want to show you what we got going with the Senkos. Really good stuff today. Really nice Senko fish going. One more? I knew you had it in you. A Senko fish. What do you think, bro?
It's a good one.
Pretty good shot there.
Just caught her off in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, she's out there off that little structure of weeds we saw before.
That's probably the one that hit me when I was coming off of it.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Awesome.
That was
Makes
sweet.
what, 3?
That's 3 for that was crazy.
That was ginormous.
Brian just got a giant hit right here. Had it on for a second. It's either one of the biggest pike we've seen.
I think it might have been a dogfish.
But it was huge. And he wanted it. You can see how we're up in the thick stuff today. It's Brian Kelly and Rich Soderquist from Real Swede. We're out fishing in some real slop. You can see this looks like in the background.
That was insane.
Beautiful.
Could you push this back up there?
Yeah, you bet. Isn't that something?
I hit my other pole and I couldn't get a good hook set. Did you hear it? Smacked it. I don't know what that was, but he was big and yellow. Big yellow belly something.
Probably one of those big yellow belly sapsucker bass.
Might have been a big bass. Whatever it was huge.
Swamp Bertha lives up in here
Something was up here.
with her sister Big Bertha. Yeah. I used to date him in high school.
Alright. I don't know where it went. I think it hit in one of these grass pads, but we're about to get beat.
Brian's got a good one.
Ooh, it's a good fish.
Is it a good one, Brian?
Oh yeah. Check
All
that
right.
out.
I love it.
Right there. Oh, he's about to poop on the boat. There he is, a little mud bottom. A little fatty, look at that.
Nice fish, Brian.
There's one.
Sweet, love it.
You can get these at realswede.com.
Awesome.
Yep. Thing looks like a muskie, man.
So let it sit.
I can't see him now.
You might want to reel up. He's coming in.
Is he?
You got your bait?
I don't know.
Look at that fish, dude.
What is that?
Is
That's
that
a bowfin. That's a
He'll eat-
bowfin.
He'll eat it. He should.
He's not hungry. He's mad. He ain't hungry.
There's a bass up in there. Get him.
Is there?
Yeah, there was one behind him. Right up in that shallow
I
stuff.
see him. We're about to go beach.
That's okay. I don't think they mind.
I don't think they might.
Probably kick us off. Arby breeze. Wacky. Wow, that dock has never failed to produce.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's like fun.
That'd be something, right?
I would think so.
You know where there's some fish? I think I know where there's Craig.
Okay, so occasionally what we'll do is we will take our bait and we will go with braid. Sometimes just an open Gamakatsu hook like that. Sometimes we all like these little circle type hooks. They all seem to work really well. One of the things we'll do is we'll take something like Roland Martin's Mega Strike or something that we can put a O-ring on easier with. Just give it a little scent. A little garlic smell. Sometimes we'll take a little garlic paint pen like that, spike it dye. This one happens to be red because I'm using red, and we usually use chartreuse. We're trying a little red just to mimic the bluegills and stuff that are in here. It seems to be working. So. But that's how we'll rig it usually. Look at that turtle, Brian. There. Hey. Hi all.
How's it going?
How you guys doing?
Good, good. Beautiful day out.
It is. Couldn't ask for better weather.
You've been seeing all the big turtles?
No.
Yeah, they're all
just one
over.
right here.
Where?
If
Right where you were.
If you take a look at the right up here, that's our place down at the end. Yeah, it's just dead ends there. Comes off.
Yeah, it's our first time this far on this lake. Every time we come out here, there's tons of waves, and we get tossed around in these kayaks.
Yeah. We were talking to one guy this morning who had it all set up for fishing. It was kind of cool, you know.
You get a kayak?
Yeah, he was
So
down
what
there.
I was thinking about doing, they got these big cup holders on the front. I'm just going to take like some PVC pipe,
Yeah.
put one in there, put a smaller one on that.
Yeah, you could.
And then just put my rod in there, cruise around. I mean,
why not?
yeah.
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff on YouTube right now, how to deck mount and make things.
Oh yeah. You can figure out anything.
Yeah, you
It's
can drill
amazing.
holes in those too and put
Yeah.
red holes.
Yeah. Yep. Good luck today, fellas.
Yeah.
Have a great one.
You too.
Wind keeps blowing me.
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah, like that. You guys trying to run.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Well, I tried to save the turtles.
Yeah, if you keep watching,
Yeah, they're okay.
they'll float up to the
It's the big
surface. They're big. There's leatherback ones, and they look like leather and they're green. There's big painter turtles. Pretty cool.
Oh. Like this?
Yeah, you'll see them float up,
Yeah.
especially if you kind of look to the sides.
Yeah, I saw a little guy when I was
Look at the birds.
I don't know, but they're swarming.
They're like Senko birds. Alright, Brian. You see that professional skip?
That was a big one.
That was like, if it doesn't produce a fish,
We're never coming here again.
we're never coming to this lake again.
I feel
Why
like
do
they're
you
fat.
people have all these bird houses?
I don't know. I wonder if the lake puts them in.
I didn't notice that about this lake in all these years.
I mean, they don't look that old though.
No, it's weird.
They look fairly new. What color are you using?
Red.
Red.
Um,
Green pumpkin on.
yeah. Green pumpkin red plate type deal. Okay, we're not hurting the young.
I know. It is. It's trying to fit. Leave this alone. We're calling the police. Look at them. They're in full on attack mode right now. We're just getting close.
Dive bomb my burn. Man killed while fishing. Lose at 11. Psychotic sparrow attack.
Look at them. Holy. Rid. Rid. Rid's out. I don't know what's happening. Look at them. They're really showing off.
Well, you know, to think about it,
Huh.
the baby birds falling in, the big bass eating them, you know, I mean, that's a,
Yeah.
they're coming out with all sorts of, they've always had them throughout the years, but they have some
Bird
really
lure.
cool duck and sparrow baits right now.
Yeah, I seen some. They're insane.
They're like $17.99.
Yeah. Can you imagine what you have to throw that with for top water? That's a heavy rod.
I mean, this has never failed to
I
do.
know, this dock's always pretty.
So what's up?
This is the first one. Got one.
Got one.
Really?
Oh,
You're a good one?
no, mine's not a good one, but here.
Mine's a big one.
Hey, one hit wonder. Well, the dock produced, right?
It was like all the way up.
I had this thing. See, look, folks, out there. It is in that big old tree. Brian got one though.
Look at that. Oh, yeah. We at least gotta get a few more. This is awesome. I can't catch them. What's wrong with it?
Well, on a day like today, what are we at? 5 or 6?
We lost the whole dock, like a bunch of them.
Yeah, we have. That's true. We've lost as many.
We lost a ton of them. Not sure why though.
No, I'm not either because it's like they have a committing or something. Well, we've had some awesome strikes too.
There's a bass stand right next to me.
There's a good one. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, baby.
That is a good one, huh?
It's a beauty. I don't know if it's a pike or not, but oh yeah, it's a bourbon. One that you've been wanting to catch all day. One that you've been wanting to catch all day.
How are we gonna get them in?
Get her, I don't know, but let's get some of the action on camera.
That's a big fish, man.
That's crazy town, man.
Oh, he's bringing you under the boat.
Look at the size of that monster. Folks at home, this is what's commonly referred to as a burbot or a dogfish,
He's got teeth, doesn't he?
and they are just fun to catch. They will hit and tear up a bait and tear up a boat.
Man, he got you good.
But man, what a good time.
How are we gonna get him, you think? Ooh, bent the crap out of your hook.
Oh, that was awesome. A little bit of power on me. Got my Gatsu too.
Straighten that hook. That's crazy.